discussion video with me, MarioDragon, and my brother, GenaralSkar.
Uh,
I don't know how well this audio is going to turn out. I have to use fraps right now. Later, we're going
Probably
to
should
be...
have done a test video.
Well, I did. I mean, it sounds fine, but I think I'm a little bit quieter than you are. I turned you
Oh,
down. But anyway, this will be a black
okay.
screen, and this is possibly the first of one of the podcasts we may do, possibly in the future. I don't know. It would be a weekly thing if we did. So, this will just be the discussion on the Microsoft E3 press conference for 2013. Today is June 10th, 2013, and it is about noon. Not
Just
that that
why
matters.
why does that matter?
Well, because, someone watching this years from now needs to know.
They need to know the time we're recording this at.
No, but I felt like saying it anyway. So, first things first, because we do kind of want to get through this, because E3 starts soon for EA, E3 EA. The first
No,
thing
no.
because we came in late, because the stupid,
The official live stream wasn't working,
I
so and
know, on Microsoft website it wasn't working, so we had to go
yeah.
to GameSpot, that worked,
So
which we didn't know.
we started like 10 or 20 minutes late, I think,
Yeah, and we came in when they said you get free games, 2 free games a month for gold members, which is similar to what PSN Plus has done.
which is pretty cool because the first two games are Assassin's Creed 2, was it?
So, yeah, Assassin's Creed 2 or 3 and Halo 3. It said those
Halo
were just
3.
some of the games.
Well, they're gonna do two, I think, every periodically or something, and then soon
Yeah, and it
two
makes me
different games.
wonder, is it, like, are they actually free games, or are they just, like, do you get them forever, or do you have
That's a
to
good question.
be a gold member? Because for PSN, you get all these free games, I think you stream or something, maybe you download them, but you have to be a PSN Plus member. So I don't know. But, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I haven't actually paid for gold membership in about a year.
I just bought another year so I could play Happy Wars, and it's a lot of fun.
And Halo 3 is pretty old, so,
Yeah, they might give you it for free, like just forever, since they're old games anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so then next topic would be they're continuing the support for the Xbox 360, and even EA said that they're going to be continuing game support for many years, at least 3 more years
That's
for the
good.
360, which, would be stupid not to, because
Yeah.
so many people have bought it. Like, I think 77 million 360s have been sold.
Wow.
So, it would be kind of stupid just to switch on over only to the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So that
So
that's kind of that was kind of a given.
yeah,
Then there's
uh,
World of Tanks, which is now on the 360. It will be free to play.
free to play for gold members.
Of course. Well, I mean, you
Still
have to
need.
be a gold member to
Yeah.
use Netflix, so of course.
Why not just play it on the computer though? I'm pretty sure
Well,
that's
I
free.
know. I mean, I think that game is better on a controller.
It probably would be, but still.
And I think they said they were moving away from the pay-to-win model. It might have been a different game. One of those free games said that they're moving away from the pay-to-win model and trying to switch over to cosmetic things, cosmetic transactions.
Was this during E3 or some
No, it
other
was
time?
before. I think it
Okay,
was
because
World of Tanks. If it isn't, then it's
I don't
completely
remember.
pointless is what I'm talking about, but
I don't think World of Tanks is pay to play anyway. I
no
don't know. I
pay to
haven't actually
win.
pay to win whatever.
I
Uh,
think most of those free games are, but
Most are, but still.
so then Max Curse of the Brotherhood was the Xbox One game that was shown off.
Was it Xbox One? I thought it was 360.
It's probably both. I should
It's
have
still on
taken,
the
yeah.
360.
Okay. Is it? Okay. Well, that one does look okay for a platformer.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But the thing is, he like wishes for his brother to disappear, and the second he does, he regrets it and just like, oh, that was a bad idea.
I know. It's
Which is
like,
kind
wait
of
a
weird. It's
minute.
like you think you'd think ahead a bit.
Yeah. And then, well, then you just go on to this pretty cool looking platformer game. I mean, the graphics did look kind of cool. I
Yeah.
like that 3D, that kind of thick 3D, almost clay or Play-Doh feel that games have.
Hmm.
Not like squishy or anything, just that look that they
Squishy.
have, that color look to them.
Yeah.
And,
I think
it looked a
there's
lot of fun. Like, the physics looked interesting, even though it really doesn't affect me.
yeah. There's apparently a beta for the World of Tanks 360 edition.
Oh yeah, it's called the PC.
I mean, on the Xbox though. Stupid.
Yeah, okay. And then Dark Souls 2 was also announced. That was announced before
That was
or
that
guessed
looked
at.
pretty good,
Yeah, but I
even if
mean
it
it's
was just a
Dark
trailer.
Souls. It's gonna
I
be
know.
incredibly
Well, it
difficult.
was
Which,
good for the quality that we were able to see it in.
yeah, that was a problem with the stream. It was all pixelated and crap. If I
Yeah.
can watch Twitch streamers 12 hours a day without any pixelated screens whatsoever, why can't Microsoft do it?
I
Although
know that was weird.
it was just when the trailers went like into
Yeah.
the quick scenes, so it couldn't keep up probably. But
Still.
anyway, for Dark Souls 2, it looks good for people who are a fan of the series.
Yeah.
I mean, it
I
might be
don't play it,
fun.
but it still looks awesome.
Yeah, it really is. I played Demon Souls and I just didn't like I know it's supposed to be difficult and I know having no checkpoints makes it difficult. I just didn't like spending 30 minutes in one castle, dying and having to do it all over again. It I didn't have the time. I still don't have the time just to sit there and play it. And Dark Souls 1, it kind of fixed that by giving many, many checkpoints, but that also made it easier.
I guess. I haven't played it, so I don't know.
Yeah, and I heard the PC version is horrible because it's just a port and you have to download a bunch of mods to get it playable, which,
It
that's
was
fine.
pre the Prepare to Die edition.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
that's just what anybody anybody that's played it on the PC has told me use a controller or get it on the PlayStation 3 or something.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So,
then it was at this point we noticed that they don't let the audience do anything at
unless the
all.
trailer plays without any audio.
Yeah, and then they are not good at that either. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that when we get to it, though.
So
Yeah,
now moving on to the Xbox One
yeah. So
games.
first was Rise, Son of
Son of
Rome.
Rome. The graphics, it looks like one of those like test graphic things they do
Well,
for.
it looked pretty good. I mean, it looked a little bit like Crysis 3, but also not really at
Wasn't it
all.
made by the Crytek people anyway?
Yeah, it was made by Crytek,
So
so that's the same as Far Cry, Crysis series, Homefront, and some other games.
to me, the graphics look like PS3 graphics.
Yeah, that and even the cutscenes they showed, they looked a little bit like the PlayStation 2, like Kingdom Hearts 2 did to me.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising how well those graphics were.
I don't know, Square Enix is just a boss with that.
And they were pre-rendered, so I guess they could have done it
Except
on
the
a
gameplay was pretty
system.
smooth. It was better graphics in the 360 for sure, but that's not hard.
Yeah.
It definitely looks like the Rome Total War series, but you're not the one really, you're not the overhead controlling the army, you're inside the actual fight,
Yeah.
but then
I
it
don't
kind
know
of
if
gets,
how much of the game is actually going to be like that though, because I could
yeah,
just
I know. At
imagine that's going to
first,
be one mission.
yeah, well, the first part it showed it, but then after that, it kind of was just generic. It looked like Assassin's Creed or Batman because you're sitting there and then suddenly 6 or 7 enemies come down and you have to fight them with them circling you like Assassin's Creed or the Batman Arkham games.
Yeah.
And of course, one of my other friends is telling me stuff. I will look at that later. So that was a little bit disappointing. We already saw cycles or combos recycled. I'm screwing up all my
Yeah.
words here. But I mean, you see one combo at the beginning, then you see it again halfway through. And, that's going to get really old. It looks like
Yeah.
fun, though. If it wasn't on the Xbox
Maybe.
One only, I would get it.
Yeah. So next is Killer Instinct, which
Mortal
is
Kombat, I mean, Killer
yeah,
Instinct.
generic fighting game. There's not much to say about it, I guess.
Especially when neither of us have any interest in fighting games. I
Yeah,
mean,
it looks like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, all that stuff, just with different characters, I guess.
different, I mean, it's a fighting game. What else is there to say?
It's like a old fighting game, and I guess, and they're like remaking it now. So
Okay. Yeah, I don't know a thing about them besides Hadouken. That's all I know.
yeah, it was a SNES game.
And then, like, the only fighting game I've ever played was that Clay Fighter. That's a terrible one.
On the Genesis.
Yeah, on the Genesis. It's horrible.
It's bad.
The Genesis controller just sucks. But anyway, off topic.
Yeah. Anyway, next, Sunset Overdrive. That game looks awesome. If I was to buy an Xbox One, it'd be because of that game. It's like that open world shooter thing where there's all the zombies and stuff going on.
And it kind of looks like Team Fortress 2 a little
Yeah,
bit.
with the cartoony graphics. And like at the end of the trailer, you saw a bunch of different people joining in, so I guess it would be co-op too.
Yeah.
That game looks like a lot of fun. I have
It
no idea what it's about, but still.
I don't know if I'd play it. It looks kind of good. I mean, it has that Insomniac feel, and obviously Insomniac made Resistance, Ratchet and Clank,
I
Spyro.
think I think they made
Resistance is...
Crackdown.
Did they?
I think
I don't know. I
so.
mean, Resistance is went kind of downhill after the first one, but Ratchet and Clank has been pretty good, and I haven't seen a Spyro since... When was the last Spyro? Was it PlayStation 2? I don't know.
I th- There was one on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, but that was around the same time as PS2 anyway. I mean, I have the Game Boy Advance.
Oh no,
So
it
I
was
never
Real
beat
Time
it.
Worlds that made Crackdown. Never mind.
Okay, so it's pretty cool. Looks like a fun game. I mean, I don't know
Yeah,
if I'd play it. It does look fun. It's like, what the heck am I watching when you watch the trailer?
yeah. If
And then
yeah,
for the next trailer, are you done with that game?
yeah.
Okay, for the next one, they showed off the McLaren, which was kind of cool. It's always fun to see cars that we can never afford.
Showed it off for 30 seconds and then that's it.
Yeah. At
It
first, I
was
thought it was like an in-house advertisement or something, where they were just gonna show
yeah,
a bunch of commercials, and then, oh no, Forza.
yeah. But what would they keep calling it?
Forza.
Forza. It's Forza 5 and they kept calling it Forza.
Yeah, well, one guy had an accent, so I could let him pass, but the other American, it's like, why are you calling it Forza? I don't know, maybe it's just the dialect. Anyway, Forza 5 looks like another exactly the same
It's
as any other
Forza.
racing game.
But the Drivatar thing was pretty cool.
Yeah, the use of the cloud, it looks pretty cool, where it constantly learns the way you drive and then competes you against... It sounded like you could compete against the world and maybe see your times
Yeah.
against them, or
Like
just be
when
friends
you're
with
not
family, whatever else.
playing the game, like it plays it for you. So like your AI, your Drivatar is competing against other players and other Drivatars and stuff, I guess. So then when you log back into the game, you get points for doing those races that you never did, but your
Yeah, I know,
Drivatar.
it looks... that's actually one of the better uses of cloud that I've heard.
Yeah, that seems like a really cool feature. I'm surprised more games haven't done that yet.
Oh, and we should start off by saying, we should have started off by saying the Xbox One will be released in November of 2013 at $500.
500.
My opinion on that, do they remember how well the PlayStation 3 did at 600? Not well.
Yeah. It
Not
started
well.
out at 600.
Yeah, 600.
Wow.
It went down pretty quick because nobody was buying it. I mean,
The only reason we bought it was because of the Blu-ray, and it was cheaper than a Blu-ray player, wasn't it?
yeah, at the time it was cheaper to buy a PlayStation 3 than it was to buy a Blu-ray player. So we did, and it was an 80 gig, and they came with a bunch of games and controllers, so it was a good deal, but
Yeah.
we got rid of that, and then I bought a Super Slim to play The Last of Us.
I still need to buy another PlayStation controller so we can play Ratchet and Clank All for One. But
Yeah, you'll need to do that. But anyway,
this does not have anything to do with this.
No,
Next,
it
they said
doesn't.
that they are good at supporting indie developers, and that's a
Okay.
lie.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's go back to Forza.
Forza, we're still doing that?
Well, no, I just wanted, like, I thought we should tell people what the price of the... This is a mess of a podcast. So anyway, back to... Okay, Forza, I guess we're done with. It looks like another racing game. The cars look cool. I don't really have a
Yeah.
huge interest in racing games, but, if it's on the PC, that might be fun just to
Yeah.
get
It's
off of a
probably
Steam sale.
will be since it's Forza, and I think they've all been on the PC so far. Unless
Yeah, I
they
mean,
said it was an
they're
Xbox.
all fun too.
exclusive.
I like how they show off the graphics, but you never actually get to pay attention to the graphics because you're paying attention to the turns and the courses and the cars. They're
Yeah.
and they're all rushing past you. You never actually get to appreciate any of the graphics. So it's funny because racing games always look the best, but you never get to see them when you're playing. Alright, so next is the indie developer. Right.
Yeah.
Thought that was
They were
later.
talking about
Okay.
how they good at supporting indie developers or
Yeah,
something.
and yet most say Microsoft isn't because you have to go through Microsoft to publish it, while with Sony you don't, and with Steam
Yeah.
now there's Greenlight.
From what I've heard, like just for Super Meat Boy getting on the Xbox, they had like such a terrible time and so many things were going wrong or something. I think it's in Indie Game the movie, which I haven't seen yet,
Well then,
but they like talk about it and stuff.
patching it is a nightmare too.
Oh
Because it
yes.
has to go through some Microsoft acceptance, and then you have to pay a lot of money, and then you get to patch it, which
Yeah.
is why Team Fortress was never
It
patched on the
Yeah, it doesn't
360.
have any of the updates because if they were to, Microsoft wants them to have to pay for the update to have all the new items and everything.
Yeah, it's
So that's not,
crazy, because
that's why it's never been updated on Xbox.
that could be a huge game on the Xbox, but
It could be. I
no,
mean, it's
especially if they
that's
made it free to play.
yeah, I still think a lot of people, not a lot, but like some people still play it on the Xbox.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. I mean, even if they made it free to play on the PlayStation 3, that'd be pretty good for them too.
Is it on the PlayStation 3?
I don't. Yeah, the orange box was, so it
Oh,
might be. I don't really know. I haven't followed Valve since Portal 2. That was like 2 years ago now, almost. Yeah. So anyway, they're claiming they help indie developers, and from what
they're
I've
good
heard,
at it.
indie developers don't like Microsoft very much.
Yeah.
They're all liking Sony. So it really seems Sony is stepping up again within that department. So, uh, oh
Next,
yeah, Minecraft is next.
Minecraft. It's better because it's got bigger worlds, and that's it.
Buy it on PC, guys.
Yeah,
Don't
infinite worlds.
don't get the 361 ever. Just buy it on PC.
Well, it's Xbox One is good for like parties because it's four-player split screen. That's one of the good things about it.
Yeah, but still, it's just that'd be a
If you
temporary
can
thing.
each have your own copy, then
If,
get it on PC.
if you're serious about Minecraft, if you want to do everything you can, avoid the consoles.
Yeah.
I
So
thought it was funny they advertised it
I
because
know.
it's like advertising milk at this point.
And then at the end of the trailer, like they zoomed out from the text that was on the screen telling you the new features that were going to be in the Xbox One, so you couldn't actually read them.
It was terrible streaming. They would zoom out at random points, showing like the 6 screens they had, so you couldn't actually see anything, and then you couldn't read the text. The quality just was bad, and then, it
Yeah.
just
Uh,
terrible, terrible streaming in my
so
opinion.
next game.
Quantum Break. They
The only
had
thing I got, huh?
what's your next
Go.
one?
Quantum Break.
Okay, they had a useless trailer at the Xbox One reveal. I remember seeing it and going, well, that was a waste of time because it didn't show anything.
Still didn't show anything.
Well, no, it didn't.
No. The only thing I got out of it is they said the choices you make affect what kind of story you have, but like every game these days has those and they don't affect it that much.
So, Mass Effect, Fallout, somewhat Fallout, New Vegas, not big
New
time
Vegas
Fallout
did it
New
really
Vegas.
well.
A little bit with Oblivion, Skyrim, and
Uh,
Fallout 3. A
not
little
really.
bit, major choices. It's like, okay, I mean, choices are good, but I like the way Mass Effect did it the best. But for the most part, it looks okay. The cutscenes were pretty cool.
I really don't remember any of the cutscenes or
Well,
the
it was
video of
the
it.
chick laying in the explosion or
Oh,
something.
that's right, where it's like
Yeah.
the control time or
I
whatever.
know, he only gets 60 seconds to freeze time. And then it
And he
showed,
decided to stay next to the explosion the entire time instead of
yeah,
moving away.
it showed the gameplay graphics, and they just looked bad. I mean, they look like someone drew them from like trying to be as realistic as possible, like a drawing trying to be
Quantum
realistic
Break?
to a human. Yeah, Quantum Break.
Or are you talking about D4? Because that's the next one. That one had bad graphics.
Oh, was it? I must have missed
Yeah,
that.
D4 was the one that was like, it sort of looks like Borderlands with the black outline around everything.
Oh, that was D4. Okay, I
Yeah,
thought
that was
was
D4.
Quantum
That
Break.
looked terrible.
I missed that. It's hard to pay attention to Microsoft for this long.
Especially since they go from one game to the other just like that.
Yeah, and then no title or anything. Well, I didn't see one. Okay, so
Until the
whatever that
end.
game was, I don't know a thing about D4, did you say?
Yeah, D4. There's like, it's just a trailer shooting stuff and that's
Yeah,
it.
I don't
And
know
it
a
doesn't
thing
look
about
good.
that. It looked bad, though.
Yeah.
Now, the best game, by far, that I
Oh,
thought
yes.
Microsoft showed, Project Spark.
That game looks so awesome.
That looks really cool. I don't really like the smart glass thing. I don't want to have to use smart glass because, I mean, we have the Xbox and we have
Yeah.
Kinect and then we have smart glass
It looks
and
like
it's like, what the heck?
you'd be able to use smart glass to, well, probably we should first talk about what it is and how it's used. So,
Oh, yeah, well, anyway, Project Spock. Spartans! Anyway, let's try that again. Project Spark is a dynamic type of game. It seems like you make your own game, and the
Yeah.
worlds can be completely random. You can have a complete mess. Now, knowing randomized things where they claim they're random, I doubt it'll be all that random. You'll probably see recycled and reused
Well, it
levels
looked
and
like it was
designs.
like the bump mapping, I think is the word for it, where like the different height maps and stuff like that. That's you
Well,
can't
it
really have
definitely
different things
looks
for those,
like it
but
looks like a giant
the terrain.
mess of
You
awesomeness.
you create your own world in it, but like you can mold the landscape and everything, and then you can put down towns and monsters and fighting people and all this different kind of stuff. You can change behaviors for objects. Like, I can get a rock to follow you, is what they showed, and it looks really cool. It's
Form
like
the land
Little
as you
Big,
go. You like
yeah.
destroy the land as you go,
It's like Little Big Planet, but in 3D, and there's like a
and better
ton
in
of
every way.
customization. And they said something about it being on Windows 8, so I
Oh,
don't know if it's going to be an Xbox One exclusive.
that'd be pretty cool if it was on Windows 8. I'd have a reason
I
to use my
would totally
laptop.
buy that. I don't know if my laptop could run it though, is the problem.
Well, that was by far the best hyped up trailer that I saw on
They
from
also spent
Microsoft.
like the most time on that one.
I know that was just so cool. I mean, it seemed like it had the best, like the most going for it. It really Project Spark. I'll have a trailer to all the things we're talking about in the description, but Project Spark definitely looked like the
Definitely.
best. And I don't plan
That,
on buying an Xbox One, but if it is on
yeah,
Windows 8,
yeah.
maybe I'll get that.
That and Sunset Overdrive are the two games that I would probably get if I for an X get an Xbox One for, but that's it.
I don't see anything making me buy an Xbox One except for Halo 5, and I'm going to be disappointed if that's not on the 360.
I know.
Hopefully it will be, because, that would be the smart thing to do. The same with Halo 6. But anyway, that's
But
just
we'll get to
complete
that later.
speculation, and I hate speculation. So, moving on, besides Project Spark looking the best, it kind of
They
goes
talked
downhill
about
again from here. So
smart
they
glass.
really focused on advertising smart glass after this and the many uses. It shows that they have an easy way to stalk your friends,
Well, like you could check the stats of your friends and everything else on
see where
your
they're at
smart
in the game.
glass.
You can see the achievements and stats and everything.
That,
And
that's completely useless for single player, really, but for multiplayer, they could have things like in-game maps and weapon drops, and
although that
Halo
would be
Waypoint already did this, sort of already did this for Halo Reach called Atlas, where you can just like have a map in-game of the game you're playing, and you can
except
see all
that
the weapon drops and your team people and everything.
Yeah, that's kind of weird though, because it gives you an advantage over someone else, and you have to
It
pay
is kind of
extra for
but
this tablet or your phone and use the app, and
still.
I don't
But
really like how they do that.
another thing was the DVR recording thing they were talking about, which
Yeah,
is
which
you
is great for
your game.
people
Yeah,
who want to record and don't want to spend the money. But the thing is, what are the limits on this thing? How big are the file
I
sizes?
was
How long can you make them? Where can you put them? Are they limited just to Xbox? Can you put them on your computer and edit them as
probably
you would
upload
any
them
other file?
onto. You could
What?
probably upload them onto YouTube. I don't know why they
Yeah.
wouldn't have that kind of integration, but you can like record your game and then edit it and clip up, like cut up parts of it and have it uploaded to a video,
Add
which
different
is
things. They showed this off with that Mortal Kombat game, whatever it was.
Killer Instinct.
Yeah, they showed it off with that. So that was, I mean, it's pretty cool. I like seeing that, but I don't like
Now,
not knowing what I can and can't do
yeah,
with it. I mean,
the
more
extent
information will come
of
about.
the video editing part, I'm thinking, is only the part that you're seeing. So like you can't go do 360 camera or whatever, see behind you. It's just whatever you saw is what's being recorded, which is one of the things which makes in-game video capture things or whatever better. Like in GTA 4, you can GTA 4 or Skates or Shaun White snowboarding sort of had it. You can like go back and edit it and have all these different
Oh,
camera angles
and
and stuff.
Halo's Forge
Oh
system,
yeah,
except
the
that's
theater mode.
inside the game itself. It's not.
Yeah,
That's
but
not
this is still good
recording.
because you can just record it anyway.
Yeah, but the thing is, would it be good for full-time recorders or people who record as much as I do, where you get
Probably
hundreds of
not.
hours of gameplay
It's
sometimes?
probably.
I mean,
And
probably
then
not. There's only 500 gig hard drive, and
yeah, so it can't be too much.
yeah, and how good's the quality? How much? I mean, just how much control do we have over it? For most people, this will probably be awesome because then they don't have to go out and spend, $100 on an HD capture card. But for
Yeah.
people who want to take YouTube seriously, take recording seriously, I doubt it's any good.
Yeah. So then they talked about Twitch streaming, which is really awesome. Where you
Yeah,
can,
that is always cool to see any integration at all with Twitch.
yeah, they're gonna have it on the PS4 too, aren't they? Streaming.
Well, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they announced that already
I
or
don't. Yeah, I
something.
think it really seems like streaming is starting to pick up, just because, there's a lot of money in it if you do it
Mm,
right, and you have the time and the
do it
attention,
enough.
and you get
Yeah.
lucky. You have to get lucky too. But and then Origin has it's integrated with Twitch, so that's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
it doesn't work all the time.
Well, it doesn't have the best quality is the
No, and
thing.
it's a you can't really control your audio levels or anything.
Yeah, you can't really control anything for that, so it's better just to get a third-party streaming software. But still,
Yeah,
it's good for people that don't have time for that.
yeah.
Or like know all the technical stuff. But yeah.
So it should be, hopefully this will be good for,
People that buy it.
yeah, or people who want to try out Twitch.
Now,
I
are
mean,
there going to be games that are limited to Twitch streaming? Is probably a good
I don't know. I
question.
mean, and then that'd be the other thing because a lot of people get banned for exploiting. They get banned from Twitch and from the game itself for exploiting or streaming it. I mean, they don't usually get banned from Twitch, but say
For
there's a glitch in the new Call of Duty where you can go through the map and then kill everybody in one hit or something, and you
why
stream
would
it. I mean,
if if you're streaming it then and you're like using it to show off that it's a glitch and it needs to be fixed, then I think it's fine. But if you're using it to exploit it completely,
well,
then
no,
you probably
because
get banned or
there are
reset or
some
something.
streamers, one in particular, who's been banned like 3 or 4 times from MMOs because he he just exploited a glitch that wasn't even really a glitch. It was inside the game,
Well, he was
and
doing that like to just do it instead of showing off that it needs to be
well,
fixed.
and it
So
was because he was streaming it. All the people
that
said
too.
you were streaming it, so we had to ban you. And it's like, what? Fix it. Don't ban him. Anyway, so Twitch is cool. DVR is cool.
Yes.
Next
They're
thing,
gonna
I
have.
got a little bit confused about the MS points. Did it
Oh,
say
they're
that it
getting rid of
would
Microsoft points.
They're getting rid of them?
It's just yeah, it's just using normal
Okay.
money now.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
hate Microsoft points.
It's like especially the things like, oh, you've been a member of Xbox Live for 10 years. Here's 80 Microsoft points, which is like a fourth of a dollar apparently.
Here's 80, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I think,
I mean seriously, that's enough for like one indie game.
well, and
Oh
they're
boy.
on bases of 8 too, which is really annoying trying to figure out the cost. If it was like Nintendo or again PlayStation Network where it just charged a flat 100 points, like $1 is 100 points, that'd be
Yeah.
fine. I mean,
Nintendo's going to real world money too now, so you
yeah, I
just
know,
have like
because
a $20
point
card and you
systems
get
are
$20
just
on account.
stupid.
Yeah, it's just a overcomplicated waste of time. Especially
I
since on
know.
Xbox you can buy most things with money anyway.
But it's annoying charging a credit card and then charging the points. Why not just charge my credit card?
Hmm. They announced that you're only going to really need one gold account per Xbox to do a lot of the gold features like multiplayer now.
So that'll be, yeah, you can share gold membership, which reminds me of Amazon Prime, where you can have a parent account in Amazon Prime, and if you can put like 4 people under you in Prime, but you're still limited to certain things. Like you can't stream movies or shows on Prime if you're under a parent account, and I wonder
Yeah,
if gold membership will be like that, where
it's,
you get
yeah, I
most of
think
the
so.
benefits, but there's some restrictions.
Yeah, they said that you'll be able to do multiplayer if you have like a shared gold account.
I wonder if that means you
So
can watch Netflix.
probably, I don't know why they would limit that. That's like one of the stupid. That's a stupid thing to do. But it's
Yeah.
probably like you can't buy stuff off the marketplace or stuff like that. You know.
I'm sure there are some restrictions, but
Yeah.
that's pretty cool how you can share it because it's not fun when you want to play Halo 4 with a bunch of friends and only one of you has gold.
Yeah.
The rest of your friends have to buy gold. I mean, that's not fun.
Or like one person doesn't have gold.
Yeah, so if you could share it with them just to play, then that's pretty cool. So we'll see how that goes. Next is Crimson Dragon. Cool
This
graphics.
trailer had no audio.
Yeah, no audio, cool graphics, epic rail shooter, just play Kid Icarus Uprising,
Yeah.
moving on
You
past
fly
that game.
around on a dragon shooting stuff. It's not.
Just like a hardcore rail shooter. If you're into that
I
thing,
guess.
look it up. Otherwise, it looks pretty mediocre.
I guess. Yeah.
Besides the graphics,
So,
those are
Dead
pretty
Rising.
spectacular.
Dead Rising 3.
Zombies again! How many
Well,
zombie
that's
games are we gonna have?
that's a Dead Rising staple, I guess. That's
I
what
know,
Dead
I
Rising
mean,
games
Dead
are.
Rising was
But
one of
this
the
one
first.
is open world, which is pretty cool. So you can go like driving around a big city with
Yeah, a
billions
little
of
bit.
zombies.
Yeah, it
With
looks.
I wrote down buttload of zombies.
Yeah, there were tons of zombies, lots of
Yeah,
creative weapon choices. You can put a chainsaw on a sledgehammer
yeah.
and kill zombies with that.
That kind of stuff has been in Dead Rising since like the first game, I guess. But now there's like a ton more combinations you can do. I'm
Okay,
guessing,
I haven't
and
actually
more
played Dead
weapons.
Rising.
I played the demo for like 1 and 2, and I had a lot of fun with it. I've seen a lot of videos of it, so.
I just,
But
I think most zombie games are a waste of time. I think The Last of Us will be a slight exception, but
yeah. Well, Dead Rising is more of like a crazy kind of zombie game. Do whatever you want, like what you would think you would do in a zombie apocalypse, just like shoot
yeah.
everything.
Well, and
In
as
the
I said,
first,
it was one of the earlier ones.
yeah. So another thing, you can use smart glass to get more options in the game. Like I guess see a map and then call down an artillery strike on a bunch of zombies because you start out as a normal mechanic and then you just have access to an artillery thing, which makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't
Maybe
know.
if it was Saints Row, but
It is kind
what
of cool how they're trying to
Saints Row
integrate
is.
smart glass more. I mean, maybe eventually we'll actually have to use a tablet and a controller and the screen with the Kinect talking to us and stalking our eyeballs and reading our heartbeat and everything, but I
Not for
still
a
don't.
while.
All these smart glass things, I don't have a tablet. And I
And you don't
wouldn't
have
want
a
to
Windows
use
Phone
it
either.
anyway.
So, well, I could use my laptop since it sort of goes into a tablet. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you can use your phone sometimes too. I just don't want to be paying attention. Oh, tablet screen controller, tablet screen controller. It's just too much.
yeah. Some
Too much
people
at once.
like for the Atlas thing I was talking about earlier for the Halo Waypoint, where you could see Halo Reach stuff. Some people like tape their phone to their controller so they can just look down at their controller and see the map.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they came up with stuff like that and they added LEDs on the controller or LCD screens on the controller or something, that'd be
Yeah.
kind of cool.
There's something called a game clip, which you can attach your phone to, and then like use the a PlayStation controller or something to play uh, games on the phone instead of having to use your thumbs on the screen. You just use the
Well, which is
controller. So
scary because maybe soon everything will be on our phone. Like we'll be start
yeah.
playing handheld
So
games
if
on our phone.
someone would probably make like a mount for that on the Xbox controller, you can put your phone up and use smart glass like that. So
Yeah, maybe. But either way, I still don't really have much interest in smart glass. Moving on to Witcher 3. I didn't like the first two.
did you play the first two?
Yeah, I played the first one. It was horrible. I played the second one. It was just like, why? Actually,
I
the second one was really difficult, and
I
I
haven't
don't
played
know.
any of them, so I don't know.
The first one was horrible. People who tell me it's good, they obviously have only played a few games in their life. But the second one was way better. It was just way difficult, and I didn't want to spend the time
Yeah.
figuring it out. I didn't. I
So
mean,
I
it
think
probably was good. I just didn't like it.
I played like a demo for The Witcher 2, and the combat was really in depth, I
Yeah, the
guess.
combat was awesome.
There was a bunch of buttons I had to memorize and I couldn't remember, and it like the tutorial thing never showed me again, so I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do, so I couldn't get past the combat tutorial.
That's funny.
So anyway, this
Witcher 3, it looks almost exactly like Skyrim.
it's yeah, it's gonna be open world free roaming game, this one.
Yeah,
And then you can
and
use smart glass again to access stuff like the inventory and your skills and whatever.
I am interested on how many people will actually use smart glass. I mean, I
I'd
know
use
tons of
it
people have
if I had an
tablets,
Xbox
but
One, but I'm not getting an Xbox One, so I'm not gonna use it.
yeah. And even then, it's like it's just one more thing to have to learn. It's one more thing to have to pay attention to. But
It's just like the second touchscreen on the DS, I guess. Or just like
except that's connected to the DS. That's right
still,
there when you're looking at it.
just like put your controller up to the screen so it like lines up as the bottom screen.
So I'm sitting like I'm assuming I'll be playing Xbox One in a living room, so I'm sitting on a couch, and then I have my big tablet there. Probably I don't probably have a table next to me, so I can't really prop it up on anything but maybe my legs. So then I have the controller, and I have to look at the tablet, and I have to look up at the screen. I mean, that just seems like
Yeah,
way too much work. Okay,
still,
well,
it's a good idea if you ask me.
what
But
else? I don't know what else to say about Witcher 3. Not
yeah, that's all
neither
I
of us.
have.
You haven't
It's not
played
going to be
it.
an
I'm not a
Xbox
fan
One
of it.
exclusive, so
Say that again.
it's not going to be an Xbox One exclusive.
It won't?
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
So, if you liked Witcher, there you go. There's a third one.
I'm an out. Battlefield 4.
I mean, you mean Battlefield 3, right?
Battlefield 3-2.
Looks exactly like Battlefield 3 to me.
They for the
Has
trailer, they decided to go with the story trailer. Not a
with
good
showing off the dumpster
choice.
campaign.
The person playing it was literally showing off how bad the game was because he was just standing in front of all the enemies and like walking through all of the bullets,
Well, he was
and the AI
probably
was
on the easy
missing.
difficulty, so he didn't die in front of
That's a
millions of people. But
it's a terrible
the
thing.
funny thing is, this trailer it didn't work at first. There was no sound
Oh
and
yeah,
wasn't playing.
that was
And
hilarious.
the presenter, he could have been like, he was obviously annoyed with it because he was probably like, oh great, you're making me look bad. He could have had fun with it though. I mean, he could have made some jokes about it.
When it started, I think I heard like some people booing it when it wasn't playing
Well,
the audio.
yeah. I mean that's obviously whoever was dealing with the TVs and whatever. That was their fault. But that guy, he
Yeah.
could have been a little bit less stone-faced and just had fun with it because it's funny. That was funny.
So it
But
looks like, yeah, there's way too many filters in this game. It's like even more than Battlefield 3. They added even like more filters and contrast and hue and saturation and
and
it's
the
very
dust,
blue and red.
I could not see anything. There's way too much dust.
Yeah. Do you
But
get
otherwise,
water
it
on your?
uses
You
dice. Okay, what are you saying?
oh you go ahead. I'll say it later in a second.
Anyway, it uses the new dice engine, so supposedly it has better everything, but I looked at a comparison trailer. I couldn't tell a difference. Maybe the textures, the smallest textures, had a difference, but otherwise I couldn't tell a difference between Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4.
Yeah. So I was saying you get water on your eyes when you get hit by splashed by water, even if you aren't looking at the water, because at one point like there was a wave coming up behind him and the screen got soaked, and then, or if you're away from the water, you still get water on your eyes because he was like standing way back, and then a splash of water came up and his face got like soaked,
Yeah,
and
well, I
it
mean,
made no
that happened in
sense.
BioShock. That's happened in other games. I don't
Well, I
really
know
mind the
that, but
water effect.
no, that's not bad. But I'm saying like he wasn't even near the water when it happened, which was the stupid part.
But the only thing that bothers me, that only makes sense if they're wearing goggles of some kind,
Yeah.
because if it gets in your eyes, you're going to be blinking and your eyes will be watering, you'll be getting that out of your eyes really quick, and if it's seawater, it's salt water, so it probably won't
Yeah.
bother you that much.
Plus, if it's on your eyes, you won't be able to see it anyway because it's
I
like,
know, you won't see the spots and the crap
yeah.
and everything everywhere.
So if you're wearing goggles, it makes sense, but you're not wearing goggles.
Well, maybe you are, I don't know, but it's just
No
funny
one
that
else
they
is
do
wearing
that.
goggles, so why would you be wearing goggles?
Or like an explosion happens to the right of you and the right side of your screen gets covered in dust. It's pretty cool, but eventually it's just annoying.
So, and then at the end of the trailer, you're apparently the only one qualified to drive a boat because you're
Yeah,
just
that's just classic shooter campaign though. You do everything and you have
still.
to save everybody and
It would have
you
been
don't
better
get
if you
any
were manning
credit.
the turret or something and someone else was driving the boat. Still,
I don't know. It was maybe he was on the turret. I don't know. I think the campaign
it's
is gonna suck.
Battlefield. It's gonna suck.
And I kind of feel like, especially my friends who are huge fans of Battlefield, they feel this is now taking the path of Call of Duty because, it took years for the third one to come out, and it was way different from the second one, and most of them already didn't like the third one because of how different from the second it was, and the fourth one looks like it's going to be exactly the same, just with a new
Yeah.
title.
And how bad the story was for the third one, I can't imagine how bad it's gonna be for the
You
first.
can you can only improve, so it'll probably be
That's
better, but
yeah,
that's not saying a lot.
yeah. So next game, Below. It's
Pointless trailer. No idea
well,
what
not
that
really.
was
It
about.
looks pretty cool. You like fight, you go in dungeons and stuff. It was made by the co-creators of Swords and Sorcery, and it actually sort of looks like the game. It looks pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to be Xbox One exclusive though. If it's not, I'd probably buy it.
I don't know anything about Swords and Sorcery.
It's a
I didn't
good
really
game.
pay attention to that trailer either, so I don't.
Yeah,
I have
it
no
was,
opinion.
there wasn't much in the trailer. Even less so in the Halo 5 trailer, which didn't make any sense.
Okay, and E3 is starting, or I mean EA
Is it?
E3 is starting soon. So
Well, like 30 minutes.
let's see, trailer on a game that had no name, right after Below.
That was Halo 5.
No, it was before
What?
that. It was one I asked you what the game was, and you said you had no idea, and
Oh,
then it
that
was
one. It was like a
so
5-second trailer.
yeah, I don't know what that was about.
Oh,
And
it
then
was showing off some work that the one of the like the departments or developers or whatever were doing for Microsoft. So
Master Chief was shown in robes in this
he was,
next one, which was really weird. Why in the heck does
yeah,
he
he
need
was
robes when he's in that
covered in
Spartan suit?
robes, walking through the desert with like the Cortana chip on a like a dog tag necklace thing for some reason. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Why was he in robes? That doesn't make any sense. He
Yeah,
doesn't need them. It's not like he
it doesn't
gets.
even look that cool. It's like it gets off, he has a helmet under his robes. It's like, what?
How'd you get that? That's got to be really uncomfortable. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe not. I mean, he's been in the suit forever, but.
it's
And
gotta
then
get
we
hot
couldn't
in there.
see any of the fancy things because it was pixelated the whole time.
It looked like a giant forerunner spider thing though came out of the desert or something. I don't
I
know.
don't really know. I'll have to look up the trailer somewhere else where it's not pixelated,
And one of the selling points is that it runs at a blistering 60 FPS.
which the PC has done
Doesn't really matter.
since
It's not much of
forever.
a.
No, it doesn't matter.
What?
I stopped noticing a difference after 30.
Yeah, I mean, there's performance because you have more like you can have more dropped frames or whatever, but still.
So then Titanfall was the last one.
Yes, and it's a mech game, and it actually looks pretty cool.
It does. It looks like, I mean, the way they were showing off the multiplayer
PlayStation 2.
EA started, it looks like. Did it? I don't know. Anyway.
No, it's like 30 minutes.
Okay, anyway. So the way they were showing off the multiplayer, I doubt it's going to act like that because the thing
It was
about
very
multiplayer,
situational.
well, the thing about multiplayer,
Sick.
people aren't going to do it the way it was meant to be played. They're going to do it the way that gets them the most kills. So they're going to do the cheapest, dumbest things that they can.
Get as many mechs as possible.
Probably, which means all the fancy stuff they showed, that might be a little bit fun, but it's not going to be as strategic as they're talking about. Maybe a couple of teams or people will want to do it that way, but for the most part, you know, general multiplayer, it's not going to be like that, I don't think. It could be a lot of fun jumping from, like, the billboards and the buildings and
Yeah,
everything.
the
Like
way that you
Mirror's
get
Edge.
around is like free running and stuff. You have jump jets and you can wall run and all that stuff. It looks really cool.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
And then the other cool thing was the mechs. Like you get a certain amount of time or something, and then you're able to summon a mech. Not summon, like drop down a mech, and then you can either get inside of the mech and like pilot it yourself and shoot down other stuff, or you can like just leave it where it is, set its behavior or something. I'm guessing because like when he got it, there was a on the D-pad thing. It said up and it would say follow. So I'm assuming the mech would follow you wherever you're at. And then later in the trailer, he got out of the mech to capture a point, and the mech was shooting at stuff. So it has like its own AI when you're not in it, which is really cool.
Yeah, it looked a little bit like Hawken, but you're outside of the mech too.
Hmm.
And at first I thought it was Hawken. I was like, oh, World of
Yeah.
Tanks to the Xbox, and now is it Hawken's turn? But
Like a few, it really did look a lot like Hawken though.
yeah, I mean, well, Hawken is any generic shooter. You're just in a mech.
Generic shooter, yeah.
I mean, they're not really all that creative. They're just free and fun.
Yep. And it's gonna have Oculus Rift support, Hawken. So
Yeah,
that'd be even more better mech stuff.
that'd be a different video. This is just Microsoft.
Yeah.
So that's everything we have. Do you have anything else?
Just launches in November and it's gonna be $500.
Yep, which we said earlier. So if you guys are interested in the Xbox One spying on your heart rate and telling you that it doesn't recognize someone walking into your living room,
Connect
be
is
sure
always on.
be sure to cut off a leg, sell it for $500, and then buy the Xbox One. See how it does. I have a feeling this thing is going to do well, but I really, in a way, I hope it doesn't, because having to connect your Xbox to the internet once every 24 hours to play games is garbage.
Especially single player games. That's really dumb.
Yeah, especially single player. Having to pay a fee for your friend to play a game is garbage, but I guess if
used
you buy a
game.
game from a trade-in store like GameStop, you won't have to.
You still have to pay a fee to have a trade-in to play used games though, which is stupid.
I don't think you. I think Microsoft said that you won't.
I thought
If
they
you
said
buy
that
it
you
from
need
a trade-in store, then you won't have to pay a
Oh,
fee.
well, it's probably gonna be like, I guess maybe.
But that's gonna be just really annoying because probably I don't know. GameFly might have to get that approval,
Yeah.
so that'll.
And you can't
add-
like, share games with your friends either anymore, so that's dumb.
I know, that's just stupid. You buy the game and, they even said legally it is yours, but legally the people who sell it to you can do whatever they want to restrict it, which is stupid, I think.
Yep.
All to prevent piracy, which I don't know anybody who pirates Xbox games. I'm sure
Yeah,
people
it's like a
do, but
big. It's not as much
console
of a
games?
problem on console as it is PC. Not even close.
No, I mean, on Nintendo you have homebrew, and on the PSP and everything else you can jailbreak it or whatever they call it.
But homebrew is just, whatever.
Or AR, not action replay, but AR. That's a big pirating mess for Nintendo, which has kind of been prevented on the 3DS because of the encryption that they have on it now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway, all of this is just to prevent pirates, and of course the people angry are pirates, and me, who isn't a pirate, because
Our
it slows us down. Are,
yeah.
but
The people that are really suffering are the people that are actually playing it normally, which is pretty much everyone.
all of that's already been said. So I guess that's everything we have to say on the Xbox One and the E3 from Microsoft. Next
Hmm.
will be a video on EA.
Woohoo, that's gonna be fun.
Hopefully,
It's not gonna be fun.
the mess that they've had recently. Let's hope that they get our hopes up.